Why can't I have everything Ada has? Even Emeka. Imagine me kissing Emeka's lip. Oh, I will do everything possible to make sure Emeka is mine. Yes, I will do everything. Once upon a time, there was a young lady named Ada. She was kind, beautiful, and full of joy. One day, she met a handsome and hardworking man named Emeka. Emeka was an engineer. He was a very good and kind man. After some time, Emeka asked Ada to marry him. She said yes with a big smile. Their wedding was full of dancing, food, and laughter. Everyone said they were the perfect couple. Emeka loved Ada very much. He lavished her with all manner of gifts. He helped her in the kitchen when he was not so busy. Ada felt lucky she would tell her best friend Choma about her happy home. But Choma was not happy for her. Choma had been Ada's best friend since they were little children. They played with dolls together and shared secrets. But now Ada was married and Choma was not. Each time Ada talked about Emeka's love, Choma smiled on the outside, but inside her heart burned with jealousy. He bought you flowers again? Choma asked, forcing a smile. That's nice. Choma began to think, why should Ada have all this joy? I want what she has. I want Emeka. And so Choma made a plan to break their home. One day, Choma visited Ada's home when Emeka was not home. She looked around and said, this house is too quiet. Are you sure Emeka loves you like before? Ada laughed. Of course, he just left for work. He even called me before leaving. Choma shook her head slowly. Sometimes men change. You should watch him closely. Ada frowned. But Emeka has never lied to me. Choma shrugged and changed the topic. But in her heart, she smiled. Her trick had started working. Later, Choma sent a fake text to Ada's phone, pretending to be another woman talking to Emeka. Ada was confused and began to worry. Choma said, I told you, maybe Emeka is hiding something from you. That evening, when Emeka returned, Ada was so unhappy. As they ate later that evening, Ada looked sad. What's wrong, my love? Emeka asked. Ada showed him the text. Emeka looked shocked. I don't know who sent this. Why would I ever cheat on you? He held her hand and said, I love only you. Remember how we started. You are my heart. To prove his love, Emeka showed Ada his messages. Nothing was hidden, everything was clear. Ada began to believe him again. She said sorry for doubting him. But Choma was not done yet. One rainy afternoon, Emeka was home alone. Ada had gone to the market. Suddenly, Choma came in. She wore a pretty sexy dress and brought a bowl of food. I thought I should bring you something nice, she said sweetly. Emeka looked confused. Where is Ada? She'll be back later, Choma said, walking closer. She tried to sit near him and touch his hand. You work too hard, Emeka. You need someone who understands you. Emeka stood up. What are you doing, Choma? You are Ada's best friend. Choma laughed. Ada doesn't know how lucky she is. I could be better for you. Emeka felt angry. Leave my house now. But Choma smiled and whispered, If I can't have you, then no one will. When Ada came back from the market, she saw Emeka sitting alone, looking upset. She dropped her bag and rushed to him. What's wrong? She asked. Emeka looked at her sad eyes. Ada, we need to talk. He told her everything, how Choma came in, brought food and tried to touch him. He told her the exact words Choma used. At first, Ada couldn't believe it. Choma, my best friend? She couldn't do that. Emeka looked straight into her eyes. I didn't want to tell you, but now I see she's trying to destroy her home. Ada sat down slowly. Her heart was heavy. I need to hear it from her. The next day, Ada called Choma and asked her to come over. Choma came with a smile. Good morning, best friend. Ada didn't smile back. Choma, why did you try to go close to my husband? Choma's smile faded. What are you talking about? Emeka stood from the corner and said, You came here, Choma. You told me you could be better than Ada. Choma's face turned red. He's lying. But Ada knew the truth now. She looked at her friend with tears. Why, Choma? Why would you do this to me? Choma shouted. Because you have everything. The love, the house, the joy. I was always second while you were first. Ada was shocked. She never knew Choma felt that way. After that fight, Choma left the house angrily. Ada sat down holding her chest. Her heart was broken. Not because of Emeka, but because she had lost a friend. Emeka sat beside her. Some people smile in your face, but hate you in their hearts. Ada nodded slowly. I trusted her. I told her everything about us. Emeka held her hand. We still have each other. We can be strong. That night, Ada cried, but Emeka stayed by her side. He wiped her tears and told her stories until she fell asleep. Soon, people in the neighborhood started whispering. They heard about what Choma had done. Some people said she wanted her best friend's husband. Others said Choma is full of jealousy. Choma started to feel ashamed. Even her own family warned her. But Choma was not ready to stop. Her jealousy turned to anger. If I can't have peace, Ada won't have it either, she said to herself. She made another plan. This time, she would lie to the police. One morning, as Emeka went to work, police officer came to the house. Are you Miss Ada? They asked. Yes, Ada replied, scared. You need to follow her. Someone reported that your husband is hurting you. Ada was shocked. That's not true. They took her to the station. There she saw Choma smiling in a corner. She called us, one officer said, pointing to Choma. Ada shouted, She's lying. The officer said, We will check everything. If you are safe, you go home. Now Ada knew the fight was not over. At the police station, Ada sat with her hands shaking. She kept saying, My husband did nothing wrong. The officers asked her many questions. Does he beat you? No. Does he shout at you? No. Has he ever hurt you in any way? Never. Emeka loves me. Ada said. The officer called Emeka when he arrived. He was confused. What is going on? Choma stood in the corner pretending to cry. He's not as perfect as he looks. He hides things. But Emeka was calm. He looked at the officer and said, Please check our house. Ask our neighbors. Ask our family. I have nothing to hide. The officers went with Ada and Emeka to their home. They searched the house. They looked in every room. They asked the neighbors. He helped her with cooking. He buys her flour every week. They laughed together all the time, the neighbors said. Even the old woman next door said, That woman loves his wife like gold. The officer smiled. We are sorry, the trouble. Sorry for the trouble. Someone gave us false information. They turned to Choma, who had followed them there. If we find out you lied, you will be in trouble. Choma's face turned pale. She ran away immediately. Back at home, Ada sat with Emeka. I feel tired, she said. I don't understand why someone who called me sister could hurt me like this. Emeka held her hand. Sometimes the people closest to you carry the most pain, but you are not alone. I am with you, my love, Emeka said. Ada smiled a little. Thank you for standing by me. I love you, Ada said. They decided to take a short trip to the village to rest and heal. In the village, they ate fruits, walked by the river, and laughed again. Slowly, Ada's heart began to feel light. Back in town, Choma was alone. People avoided her, no one called her. Even her job at the salon was lost. She sat in her room and cried. I just wanted to be loved. I didn't know I would lose everything. She thought about Ada. Maybe if I say sorry, she will forgive me. But deep down, she knew it would not be easy. She had done too much. Still, she made up her mind. I will try, she wrote a letter. Ada and Emeka returned from the village. The house felt peaceful again. That evening, Ada found a letter at the door. It had no name, but she knew the handwriting. She opened it and read, Dear Ada, I am sorry. I was blinded by jealousy. I let my anger destroy our friendship. I don't expect you to forgive me now, but I wanted you to know I regret everything. Chioma. Ada read the letter twice. Her heart was quiet. She didn't cry. She didn't smile. She walked to Emeka and gave him the letter. What will we do? He said. I don't know yet, Ada replied. But one thing is clear. This battle is not over. One sunny afternoon, Ada went to the river near the village to take a stroll to clear her head. She liked the quiet sound of the flowing river. It helped her think. As she filled her bucket, she heard footsteps. She turned around and saw Choma standing behind her. Choma, Ada said, surprised. Choma then smiled. I knew I would find you here. Ada stood up. You shouldn't be here. Choma's eyes were cold. You think you're better than me. You think Emeka will love you forever. But what if you were gone? Before Ada could reply, Choma pushed her hard. Ada screamed as she fell into the river. The river was deep and fast. Ada couldn't swim well. She shouted, but no one was near. The water pulled her away. Choma stood by the river watching. Then she ran off, leaving no trace. Later that day, Emeka returned to the house. Ada wasn't there. He asked the neighbors, but no one had seen her. He searched the market, the road, and the paths. Then someone said, we saw her heading towards the river. When they got there, her bucket was still at the edge. But Ada was gone. People feared the worst. While people mourned, Choma went deep into the forest to visit an old woman known for charms. I want Emeka to forget Ada, Choma said. I want him to love only me. The old woman gave her a small black bottle and said, put 3 drops into his food. He will forget the other woman. His eyes will be on you alone. Choma returned and waited for the right time. She visited Emeka wearing sexy, revealing clothes and pretending to cry. Ada is gone, but I will help you. Let me cook for you, at least, so that you'll be fine. That evening, she added the drops to his food. Weeks passed. Emeka no longer cried for Ada. His heart felt empty, but he didn't know why. He didn't even remember how she looked. Choma stayed with him every day, caring for him. One morning, he looked at her and said, You've always been here for me. Choma smiled wide. Yes, Emeka, I always will. Soon, a wedding was planned. People were surprised, but they said, maybe this is how he's healing. Choma wore a bright dress and danced like a queen. Emeka stood beside him, smiling but confused inside. Something felt wrong, but he couldn't explain it. Far away, deep in the forest, an old woman found Ada lying near a quiet stream. She was weak but alive. The woman took her in and cared for her. Slowly, Ada opened her eyes. "Where am I?" she whispered. "You were saved by the water spirit," the old woman said. "Your time is not over." Ada sat up. "Emeka, my husband." The woman looked at her with kind eyes. "He has forgotten you. But don't worry, child. The truth always finds its way home." Ada stood up slowly, her heart burned with pain, but also with strength. "I must go back," she said. "My story is not finished." Ada stayed with the old woman in the forest for a few more days. She ate, rested, and became stronger. But her heart was still full of questions. "Why would Choma do this?" she asked. The old woman gave her a mirror made from a river stone. "When the time is right, look into this. It will show you what the eyes cannot see." One morning, Ada woke up early. She packed the mirror and her things, wore clean clothes, and said goodbye. "I must return. I must get my husband back." The old woman nodded. "Be careful. The one who stole your place used strong magic." Back in town, Emeka and Choma were living together as husband and wife. But every night, Emeka had strange dreams. He saw a woman by the river. She wore a red wrapper and cried. He couldn't see his face, but her voice called out, "Emeka, come to me." He would wake up sweating and confused. Choma noticed. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I keep seeing someone in my dream. I don't know who she is," he replied. Choma panicked inside. Could the charm be fading? She planned to visit the old woman again, but it was already too late. One fateful afternoon, Ada arrived at her old home. She stood at the gate looking at the house where she once laughed, cooked, and danced with Emeka. When Emeka opened the door and saw her, he blinked. "Can I help you?" he asked politely. Ada's heart broke. He didn't remember her. "It's me, Ada," she said. Emeka shook his head. "I don't know you."